So first, I'm going to read Azina's question about the coronavirus, and then I will provide you with my perspective. So here goes. Dear Zara, I have not posted anything for a while, as all has been going quite well. Thank you for your wonderful teachings. However, I have a question regarding our old friend, not such an old friend, Azina, coronavirus. Myself, I'm not really scared and have watched your 2 YouTube videos about it, which really helped, so thank you. I am not panicking or really worrying about it, not watching the news or reading or listening about it. But my older son, who is 27, talks about it quite a lot and keeps updating me on the latest news, and I really don't want to know. I keep shrugging him off and saying that I'm not worried. Today he called me to say that his dad, my husband, needs to be careful as he had a major heart attack in 2018, and I too have had a major illness in 2016. He says that my husband should not go to work. He is self-employed and works with the public. My vibration is not to focus on it, not to watch the news. All is well. We will be fine. However, my son's constant negative focus and attention has today begun to annoy me, and don't know how much more I can take. For a short while, I got scared before finding my common sense again. I know he is only trying to protect us in his way. What can I do? Please help with any suggestions. There seems to be a lot of doom and gloom and scaremongering here in the UK. I'm alone in my positive thinking about the subject. Wow, what a lot. Okay, so sweetheart, first of all, I love you so very much, and everybody, I know so many people have commented on this post, and I know that all of you are looking for ways to deal with what is going on. My first thought when I read all of this is, it's so interesting that you're having such a hard time and all of this is coming to you, because the only reason it's coming to you is because you're attracting it, because it's not coming to me. It's not happening to me. So what are you doing differently? And what you're doing differently, the very first thing that you're doing different is that you're paying attention. You are paying attention, because if you were not, it wouldn't be coming. Law of attraction at its very basis, that's what it is. Whatever you pay attention to, you get more of. So, and I accept the fact that it's not the easiest thing not to pay attention, because these days we seem to be surrounded by it. Now, I'll have you know that my job actually revolves around my knowing about these things so that I can help other people deal with them. So how is it that I am able to take what I need from the news and shut out all the rest? It's simple. I have trained myself many years of work with law of attraction. That's it. And when something like this happens, it does put us to the test, doesn't it? And I totally understand that. What I want to do in this video response is to show you a couple of strategies that you can start using immediately for relief. Okay? So I'm going to go and read a couple of things that you've said that my ears kind of pick up, and I underline, because I can show you what you're doing with your vibration. And the first thing is, you said, that's not my vibration. Somewhere you said that. Sweetheart, it is all about your vibration. If it wasn't your vibration, you wouldn't be manifesting what you are manifesting. I love your words, however, what you said about your son, that it is just his way of trying to protect you, of trying to help. He's trying to be helpful. And that's okay. You want your children to care for you, don't you? And this is his way of showing his caring. But the problem is when you say you keep shrugging him off and saying that I'm not worried, that's pushing back. And whenever you push back, the thing that you push against pushes against you. So every time you say you're not worried, your son goes back and thinks, oh, but she should be worried. I have to make her see sense because I want her to be worried because this is a situation to worry about. So the fact that my mother is not worrying, there's something wrong here. See? So he tries harder. He tries harder to convince you that there's something wrong. And that's the problem. You cannot tell in today's environment with the fear mongering that's going on, you cannot tell people that, oh, I'm not afraid. I'm happy and you're wrong. Basically, that's what you're telling them when you say, oh, I'm not afraid. You're telling them, I'm not afraid, you're wrong. I'm right. There's nothing to be afraid of. Well, it's like telling an angry person, stop being angry and go up the emotional scale. It cannot happen. Going up the emotional scale happens in small doses. So I know that you, Azina, you understand, and everyone in this group understands law of attraction, and you are better equipped. Because of all the work that we do here, you are better equipped at dealing with what is going on. Here's where you are going off track a little bit. You're trying to convince other people not to worry. Don't do that. Don't try and convince anyone to turn off the news, because the minute you do that, they are going to push back stronger, harder. And there's many more of them and not so many of us. But we are powerful as long as we don't voice our thoughts. Because the minute you voice your thoughts, it's like starting an argument. When you start telling someone that they're wrong and you're right, that's an argument. And whether that argument takes place with you actually having a conversation with someone, or that argument takes place in your head, it's still an argument. And it is a negative vibration. And when that happens, now you're sending out a negative vibration, which is going to bring you more of the very thing that you want to avoid. So here's what I do. My self-talk with my clients, I'm client-facing, public-facing, just like your husband maybe. I'm with my clients all day, with my colleagues and clients. I deal with the general public. When I teach meditation, when I do talks in the community, it's all about dealing with the general public. And my way of doing that is never to tell someone not to be scared. I do not say that. I acknowledge the fact, I acknowledge their fear. Because if you don't acknowledge their fear, you're pushing them back. People want to be acknowledged. They want to know that they are being listened to, being heard. If you dismiss someone, that means you're not listening. And someone who is dealing with the general public, it's all about listening. It's all about listening to the fear. It's all about showing your caring for this person who is scared and helping them to feel better so that they go up the emotional scale. And you can't do that by telling them that their fear is wrong or that you're not worried. That's the opposite of what they want to hear, so they try harder. So I acknowledge fear. I say, yes, I understand that you're afraid. I understand. And I think that you should take every precaution that you think you need to take, because that means that you're keeping them in their comfort zone. When you say, don't worry about it, go on that trip, go in that public place, you're asking them to step outside their comfort zone. I don't do that. Instead, I say, Yes, take every precaution. In fact, let me show you a couple of things that you can do to keep yourself and your loved ones safe. Would you like to know? And if they say yes, then I show them the things that I know. For example, if you're traveling, you can wear a personal air purifier. It removes all particles from the environment around your face, so you're not breathing in any viruses. It's such an easy fix. And when you say to people, oh, I have this thing and why don't you get it as well? Now they don't worry so much. Because you've taken them up the emotional scale, you've shown them a solution. And that's what this fear is all about. It's about showing people that there is a solution. And then once I tell them that I completely agree, yes, this is not a good situation, and I show them a solution, then I tell them, and this too shall pass. This will become history in a couple of months. Science is so advanced that we've found cure for AIDS. People are comparing this with the flu and diarrhea and things like that, but do you remember AIDS? Oh my God. Right? And we found a cure. People are not dying of AIDS anymore. There's help. And pretty soon, science will catch up with this as well. A cure will be found because soon as there's a problem, there's a solution has already been created. It just needs to come out of the vortex. And there are a lot of health professionals and scientists and researchers who are working on that. And it won't be long when that cure is found. In the meantime, it's okay to be careful. It's okay to be careful. Right? I agree with people who are fearful. I agree that they should be careful. I don't have to share with them how careful I am being or how comfortable I am being. I just tell them that it's okay for them to be careful. And that satisfies them. And when I show them solutions and sometimes share with them information that they did not have before, they feel better. And that's all I need to accomplish. I just need to move them one step up the emotional scale, not all the way up, just one step. And that's if you are the person who is feeling fear, maybe for your loved ones across the pond, right, Anu? Maybe for your loved ones across the pond, you're fearful. It's the same concept. Law of attraction does not change. It is the same and it is consistent, and that is why we can use it every time in every situation to deal with everything that comes about. It's the same concept. So if you're worried about your loved ones, ask them to take precaution. There's no harm in saying, be careful. Don't take any unnecessary risk, because I'll tell you something, it is better to be safe than sorry. Because when you think that you're doing everything in your power, then you feel better. And if you think that you're being ignorant, and if you think that you're ignoring something that needs to be done, then that does not feel good. And it leaves a hole in your vibrational aura, and that hole will bring all sorts of things. Doesn't necessarily have to bring the virus. It can bring all sorts of other manifestations. First, other little manifestations happen, which is a way for the universe to tell us where we are going wrong. Because the universe wants to stop us from going further downhill with momentum. The universe wants to stop us right at the top of the hill before we start that slide down. And so first little things happen, and the first thing that happens is you don't feel good, which is what's happening with you when you hear your son tell you things. You're not feeling good, which is the universe's way of telling you that you need to change the way you are thinking about him. Change the way you are thinking about him. Send him love because he is showing you love. And stop pushing against him. Allow him his worry. because you cannot suppress worry, because worry has energy, and if you suppress it, that's like putting a lid on a boiling pot. Then it boils over and the lid falls off and the stove is dirty, right? Instead, just release the lid. Let it boil. It has to release that energy. Pent up negative energy is not a good thing. Releasing negative energy is a very good thing. I release negative energy. Nowadays, for many years now, I don't accumulate negative energy, but I remember those days when I was much younger, didn't know enough. I used to release my negative energy by banging a door. Car door, house door, didn't matter. That loud sound had me release all my negative energy. I came right down. But I realized that other people didn't. Right? C'est la vie. Life goes on. It's all a part of life. These things will happen, and you just have to understand that your not feeling worried doesn't mean that you should prevent other people from worrying. You have to allow them their worry, and then you have to give them just something very tiny to bring them just a little bit up the emotional scale. That's all. All right, let me go here. So, when he talks about his dad and the fact that, you guys being older might be more susceptible, you have to tell them that you're taking all possible precautions, because that's what's going to alleviate their worry about you. Tell them that you're doing everything to be safe, everything that needs to be done to be safe. Tell them that you're not careless anyway. When have you ever seen me being careless about health? I don't take health lightly. Health is important, and I do everything, my dear son, to make sure that your father, I feed him good food. I do everything that needs to be done, and I still am doing, because I'm educating myself. I am doing everything that I think needs to be done to keep both your father and myself in good health. We are doing our best to look after ourselves, and we are going to take every possible precaution, and then say to him, if you feel he's ready to hear it, you will know. Say to him, and if we both sit at home and don't go out to work, then it's going to land us in other types of problems. But my son, I can also tell you that our organizations and our workplaces are not, what is the right word? They are not closed towards taking the right measures. And so I can tell you, my son, that if my work thinks that I shouldn't be coming to the office, they will let us work from home. And I am going to ask your father to do as much of his work from home as he possibly can. We will not expose ourselves without any actual reason. You need to trust us on that. And it will just make him feel better. That's it. He's not there to actually watch what you're doing during the day. All you have to do is to give him enough words with the right vibration, a vibration that says, I love that you care about me. With sincerity, tell him that you appreciate what he's saying. And when you say that and you tell him that you are keeping up with the news, don't say I've shut the news down, because then he wants to bring you the news. Instead, tell him, yes, I'm up to date with what's going on, because it's important for me to stay up to date with what is going on. And we're doing everything possible to stay safe. So don't take anyone on. That's the key. I hope that makes sense to you. I hope that adds value. And I hope it answers everyone's questions. But if you have more questions, I'll be happy to address them later on with another video. Take care for now, and I'll see you tomorrow. Bye for now.